Hi guys, and welcome to today's video, and this is covering the unboxing of many of the new Thousand Sun kits from Games Workshop. Plenty of new products out for this, so we're going to be taking a look in detail at most of these that I've purchased. So here's a big bundle shot of various bits and pieces. So we're starting with the Zangors then. These are sort of a warrior, beaky, humanoid type of race, seeking favour with higher powers of Tzeentch and their masters. So they're a bit of a meat shield type of unit. You can take them in large blobs of about 30, so they come in a box of 10. And you can upgrade one character to a Twist Bray, which is basically the character model within the unit. 2 weapon options, and that is close combat weapons, or a pair of close combat weapons, or an auto pistol and a chainsword. Moving on to the mainstay of the Thousand Suns army then is the Rubric Marines. Moving on to the mainstay of the Thousand Suns army is the Rubric Marines. So another box of 10 with an aspiring sorcerer option, and some heavy weapons and flame weapon options. The next unit we're looking at here is the Scarab Occult Terminators. So a regular box of Chaos Terminators, again with a sorcerer option. Not an aspiring sorcerer this time though, he is a full-on one. And you get various different options in here, and we'll be covering those in the unboxing a little bit later in the video. Next up is the box of Exalted Sorcerers. So this box contains 3 sorcerers and gives you the ability to build 6 different variants in total. Slightly disappointing that you only get one Disc of Tzeentch option. I'd like to have seen all 3 being able to take that. But they are quite an important part of the psychic power of the Thousand Suns army. Next we move into our first character, and that's Ahriman. He is the badass dude that can find all the Thousand Suns into dust, into their armour, allegedly to save them from certain doom back in the Heresy era. It's nice to see this in a box rather than a clan pack, even though the components are pretty much the same, and we'll be covering his unboxing a little bit later as well. Next is the big dude himself. This is the first Primarch character we've ever seen in plastic from Games Workshop. So Forgeworld have been releasing their Heresy era Primarchs for quite a while now, for a couple of years. But Games Workshop have now launched Magnus the Red, which is the post-Heresy, current 40k version I guess. Fully demonised, fully evil, and a rule set to match a Primarch in 40k gaming. Box is very pretty. Lots of nice details, lots of nice artwork. Heavy Metal have done a pretty good job, I'd say, on his painting. And probably one of the biggest single character models I would have ever painted, not including vehicles, I guess. Looking at the size of the Magnus box then, you can see how big it is. It's 2 regular size boxes long. So here I'm going to stack the Sorcerer's box and then a Rubric Marine box, and you can see here it's the size of 2 regular box kits, so it shows how big the kit is. Most of it is wings, I guess, we'll see when we come to the unboxing. Finally, some documentation then. So I've purchased the Wrath of Magnus Warzone book. So this contains lots of really cool pictures, and more importantly from gaming perspective contains lots of formations and data sheets to combine the Thousand Suns forces into as evil as possible combination, or as themed and fluffy as you want to go. Plenty of background, which is really good to see. Lots of really cool pictures. Pretty big book really, considering the price tag. It's a shame I couldn't get hold of it in hardback, as I do prefer the hardback books, but you can't win them all. So looking into this part of the book then, you get lots of different colour schemes and colour options as different parts of the Thousand Sons forces, so you can theme your background. Most of which are to do with the different colours of cloth that they're wearing on their armour. And here we move into the rules section, and you can see Araman's exiles there quite quickly. I'm not going to show all the details as you'll need to purchase the book yourself, and there's some demon formations at the back there. And my initial thoughts is if you're going to run a Magnus type army, run in with demons and run in with lots of spell dice, lots of power dice, because he's got a strength D psychic power. Let's move into the unboxing then. So we're going to look at the Zangors first. Trusty scalpel to get rid of the cellophane. That stops the glare on my camera a little bit better, so hopefully the pictures will be a bit nicer now. So looking first then, flick through the instruction manual. It's quite thin, these are quite a simple set of models to build. You see there it's just a standard torso, legs, head and then arms option. And just showing whether you want to go auto pistol and chainsword or two close combat weapons. At the end of all the new instruction manuals you do get a quick rules package just to show you some stat lines. So once we've unboxed it then we can have a look at the sprues. The Zangors box contains 6 sprues, 2 half sprues and 4 full sprues. And the 2 half sprues are identical, that's just showing the close combat weapon, the chainsword and auto pistols, so you get 2 of those, each containing 5 pairs, and that's exactly the same as the one we've just looked at. This sprue contains most of the body parts, so this is 5 complete models here, and you get 2 of these sprues as well. And that sprue is exactly the same. And the last 2 sprues are identical as well, so this one contains more of the weapon options and then some of the fancy parts for the character upgrade. A couple of little cloak options there. There's even a horn type musician implement there. I guess the same box kit is being used for Age of Sigmar. And there we go, there's all the parts all piled up there, coming with 32mm bases as is standard with all 40k models these days. So let's move into the Rubric Marines then. So as I said, it's a box of 10 models with an aspiring sorcerer and then 9 other models. Although there are parts to build just 10 regular models if you don't want the sorcerer option, because you can build units bigger than 10, but only have 1 sorcerer. So a quick flick through the instruction manual then. Starting off, it tells you how to build the aspiring sorcerer parts. A couple of different staff options just to make them a bit more flavourable. As I said, you can actually go up to 15 additional models on top of the 10, so you can run quite a big blob. However, they are very, very points heavy. The kit does include all the different options. So all the standard Inferno bolt guns can be replaced with wall flamers, so you get 10 of those. It's a very old Chaos Space Marine transfer set we're looking at there. 2013, so it's a number of years old. I was a little bit annoyed they haven't updated that, but there we go. So let's look at the parts on the sprues then. So here's all the legs and tabards. And a couple of parts for the aspiring sorcerer on there as well. And as I was saying earlier, here's all the Inferno bolt guns and all the warp flamers. So you do get 10 of each, and as well as the Soul Reaper cannon, which is the heavy weapon option. There's the torso and arm sprue and some of the heads. So that's 3 unique sprues all making that box set. So let's move into the Occult Terminators then. Once you've unboxed it, you end up with just 2 sprues, an instruction manual and the transfers that we've seen for the other models as well. Just a quick flick through the instruction manual. Well, one thing I do want to point out is they start with the Scarab Occult Terminator number 1. The instructions for the Sorcerer are right at the very back, and they share common components if you're going to build it exactly per the instruction manual. Now you can mix and match the parts, it doesn't really matter because the Occult Sorcerer comes with the fancy headdress and a big staff as he's to show his powers. But if you're building, the standard box set, which would be the Occult Sorcerer, a heavy weapon guy, and three Terminators, make sure you go to the very back first, because I spotted this as I was reading the instructions in advance, and the leg parts and a couple of other bits and pieces are actually in common with a regular Terminator. I'm trying to show you the part numbers here. 52 and 51 for the legs, for example, do actually match. Oh, just missed that. Do actually match the Terminator 1. So looking at the sprues then, 2 heavy weapon options with this kit. So you have another Soul Reaper cannon with these guys, and also a heavy warp flamer. There's an optional Hellfire missile rack for some anti-tank ability. Lots of curved power swords. It's all very Egyptian themed, as I'm sure you're aware. And this is exactly the same transfer sheet we've seen before. So let's unbox the Exalted Sorcerer kit. Now this is actually probably my favourite kit of the 3, even though we only got 1 disc. These are very, very characterful. So you can build them to make them look like regular Marines, with a bit more power and corruption, or you can build them with fancy big heads and more ornate style and look, a bit more baroque. So you can see on the front of the instruction manual then you've got 2 options. Well, you can build 2 different types of sets of 3, and some of the parts are common in each. But the reality is you can mix and match this box set quite easily to come up with as many different designs as you can possibly imagine, given the limitation of the parts. You've got some 2-handed staffs in there, you've got some single-handed staffs, lots of different shoulder pads and heads options. It's quite a good kit, I was quite impressed with it. Thought it was a little bit expensive for 3 models. But Sorcerers are a really good option in a Thousand Suns army. And there's lots of formations that include many of them. But just flicking through here you can just about catch up. You can see the different types of parts and components that you can have and how many different optional shoulder pads, and you can mix and match the backpacks and cloaks and so on. That one there at the very end with a 2-handed staff. So have a quick look at the sprues then. This one contains one of the discs, or the only discs should I say, some cloak options and backpacks and so on. And this contains many of the torso and the leg parts. So moving into Araman. He is the Arch Sorcerer of Tzeentch. He is a very, very powerful Psyker in the world of 40k. In fact, he's a Psyker Mastery level 4. So he's up there with the likes of Eldrad from the Eldar race. Interesting little instruction manual I noticed here. Some of the parts are in colour. So you can see yellow and blue in the instruction manual. Now, I've had to work this out because there's actually no guide to tell you what's what. But blue are the new parts you're adding to the model and yellow indicates where you're supposed to glue the model. I don't know why they've bothered with that. I think it's mostly self-explanatory. But they don't even bother to put in a guide to tell you what blue and yellow means. So if you're new to the whole hobby and this is one of your first models, you might not have a clue what any of it means because it doesn't tell you. Anyway, let's have a quick look at his sprues then. So he does come with a disc option as well. So if you wanted an Araman on foot, or you wanted to magnetise potentially the base so you could switch these in between your other Exalted Sorcerer kits, you could easily match that. Finally we get on to Magnus the Red then. Seem to be having some interference issues. Not quite sure the power of Magnus is taking control. I'm going to have to cut short. Sorry about those technical difficulties. We'll have to catch up with Magnus another time. But if you like the video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.